Hey guys, Heartman back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at Articulated Icons, the Feudal series. Now this series is put out by the Fwoosh, and it's kind of a ninja martial artist line of figures that are kind of an independent line. So you're not going to see like any big licensed characters for the most part in this, but you are going to get these 6-inch scale articulated ninja or martial artist figures. So just taking a look at this character here, this is Shoken. It says Hero Martial Artist. You got the Articulated Icons logo at the top, says the Feudal series. Same thing on the very top of the box. And you can see the Fwoosh logo. And on the side you get a cool picture of the character. You can obviously see he's clearly displayed in the front. And then you get this really cool read-up of the character. Now, of course, like I said, this isn't really based on any like movie or anything like that. So it is just an independent series. So it's cool that they made up that little bio. Also, you see all the different characters on the box here. You do get a nice read-up of the series, just like the story of these different characters. And then as you can see, there's several characters available that you can buy. All these should be in stock, and I'll put a link in the description. Now the one that you do get that seems to be the only licensed character is Shinobi. Now I assume they're talking about Shinobi, the character from the video games, or it could be just a name that they're using for that ninja. But I'm pretty sure it, just by looking at it, it does look like the classic ninja from the video game. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box and get a closer look. Okay, so once you cut the tape on the box, you should be able to get into this fairly easily. Just open up the lid, and then you're just going to want to pull this whole tray out. And just like you've seen with some of the NECA figures and other lines like from them, you have this cool little backdrop of like a dojo. So I like how they've done that. And it's not too shiny, so it looks like it'll show up pretty good in a photo. And then also you get the figure on the tray. It's got a few, a couple little twisty ties on here. And then you also get the accessories, which is in a nice Ziploc bag. And it looks like you're able to write the name of the character on here. Alright, so here he is out of the packaging, and man, he looks pretty damn cool. Now, like I said about this backdrop, you can kind of use this to do maybe some photos of his dojo or something like that, but it works out pretty well. Just like the few seconds I've had this figure in my hands, I could just tell that he's going to be very, very posable. Now, just getting a close-up of just the head sculpt here. Now with him, Shoken, he's one of the only figures that they make that doesn't have like a ninja costume on or like some sort of mask or something like that. And that is the character I generally go for, but I kind of wanted something different to start this line. I wanted to see what kind of heroes they had, and I think he's a pretty cool character. As far as the head sculpt, I think they've done an awesome job here. Like the way the eyes are done, the mouth, the expression, just overall looks really good. And I think they've done a really impressive job with the hair. You can kind of see it's got a little bit of wave to it. There's some different highlights in the hair. Just overall, they've done a really nice job with the paint apps on here. Now you can see he also has like a ponytail in the back. Now, one thing about it is the hair almost looks like it can pop off. So I guess if you didn't like this hair for some reason, you could probably just take it right off. And a lot of these have removable parts, but I don't think this is supposed to be removable, but I guarantee you could easily pop that off if you wanted to. But I definitely like the look of them with the hair. And then just looking at the torso of the figure, it's done with this softer material here. So it is like a piece over top of the plastic body, which is nice. And again, it's very reminiscent of what we saw or what we see with the NECA figures, like kind of softer goods on top of the harder. But he's got this cool classic, ninja karate outfit. You got the black belt with the white outfit. And I like all the wrinkles they've done here. And he's even got a little bit of wash, like a little bit of like wear and tear, a little bit of dirt. And then the same with the legs. You can't really see it the best in this lighting, but he's definitely got some like dirt going on there. The hands are really nicely done. Nicely sculpted, got some like veins going on. And then the same with the feet, very realistic, especially for this scale. So yeah, overall, I mean, I think they've done just a great job with the sculpting on this figure. All right, so what really makes this line super impressive is the articulation. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now with the head sculpt, he can look down real far, and then he can look up pretty far. And you can even kind of push the head back, and you can even look just slightly farther. And then you could pivot decently. It doesn't have the best pivot to it, but he can. And then the arms will go all the way out, and they actually even go kind of up a little bit. You have the bicep swivel. Then you have the double hinged elbow, which really allows them to flex and do different poses. You can also move the wrist here up and down, side to side. No issues there. You have the diaphragm joint. He can turn at the waist, but he doesn't have like a like he can't really look down too far. You really have to bend him as much as you can try, because this robe kind of gets in the way. But he does have some articulation there. And then he can kind of move, the thighs have a swivel, so it kind of gives him a little bit more range. The legs do a really good split. Kind of a must for this type of figure. Do a pretty good karate kick. And then you could swivel, like I said. Double joint at the knee. And then you also have, you can move plenty up and down on the foot. And then he does not have that much ankle pivot, but he has some. I think actually, yeah, he's got a decent amount. So overall, yeah, I mean, great articulation for this figure. So you do get some pretty radical accessories for Shoken. You get the bow staff, you get the set of tonfas, the set of sais, and then you also get a couple different pairs of hands. You have the gripping hands, and then you have the like chopping hands. And just like the figure itself, the hands on that, these are all done really well with nice veining and detail. And then the weapons themselves are also done pretty well with some details sculpted in. You see these kind of wraps going on around the sides, and you got some pretty nice metallic silver. And then the tonfas are pretty basic, not too much detail going on, but look pretty cool anyway. And then of course the staff. And then the grip on the bow staff is pretty cool looking. Decent amount of details in here. But yeah, overall, really cool accessories. Definitely reminds me of Ninja Turtles, which I really love. So pretty cool pieces to add with this figure. Alright, so interchanging the hands on here isn't too bad. You just want to grab the hand. You can see how it kind of pops off. And then we can try putting one of the gripping hands on here. Just pops on fairly simple. So not too bad at all. Alright, so here he is holding the two tonfas. And here he is holding the sais. And finally, here he is holding the bow staff. Overall, some really cool weapons for Shoken. And I really like the posability you can get with this articulation. Now, one thing about the figure is the hands are kind of reminiscent of what we saw with the Storm Collectibles figures, where you kind of have more of a rubbery, softer type of hand with the plastic peg joint. So the hands can pop off, you know, fairly easily. It doesn't take too much, particularly when you're changing the weapons out. But just trying to pull them out, it's not going to like pop right off or anything. But just, you know, note that these are a little bit softer material. But what's good about that is you're able to move the fingers to kind of hold the weapons just a little bit better. And I like that. I think overall, I'd rather have them hold the weapons securely and not have any breakage or anything with the fingers. So I do like, you know, I like how they did their interchangeable hand system. So here he is with the more like flat or chopping type of hands, and you can actually do some really cool poses with these. So you can kind of like bow to your opponent, whatever. But you know, of course, the classic karate chop. So you can do some really cool poses with these flat hands. So I think they're actually a really nice kind of a must-have hand sculpt for any kind of, you know, karate or martial artist figure. So definitely glad they included these. Now, one downside about this figure is he really doesn't have anywhere to store weapons. I mean, nothing really on the back, and the belt, the way they've done it, the robe it just kind of goes over top of the belt. So you really can't stash any weapons even in the belt. Now you can kind of get away with maybe a pose where it looks like he's pulling one out from inside of this robe here. Maybe that was underneath the belt. But it kind of looks more like he's stabbing himself. So you really don't have any storage for weapons, and that's always kind of a downfall, I think, with figures, is when they don't have anywhere to put the actual accessories. It kind of leaves you to just put them in the bag. And the accessories are so cool, you kind of want to display your figure with them. So that is one little downfall about Shoken. For the first size comparison, here he is next to the Raphael made by NECA Toys, and you have the Mirage Comics version and then the 87 cartoon version. And here he is next to the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Scorpion figure. You can see Scorpion's definitely way too big. And here he is next to a couple Marvel Legends figures. You have the Hasbro Deadpool and then the Toy Biz Wolverine. And I don't think the scale is that bad here. Wolverine's, you know, supposed to be pretty short, but I do think Deadpool in general is just a little too tall. And it's really not just that Toy Biz version of Wolverine. Even the Hasbro version is pretty short, so they don't look too bad. And here he is next to a couple female characters for Marvel Legends, and you have the X-23 and then the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow figure. Both are made by Hasbro. Speaking of icons, here he is next to the DC Icons Deathstroke figure and the Batman the Animated Series Batman figure from the Expressions pack. Now both of these are made by DC Collectibles, and here he is next to the Batman from The Dark Knight Rises, and this is made by SH Figuarts, and then with the Bane, and this is made by Mafex from Dark Knight Rises. And I think these look really good next to each other. Overall, I'm really impressed with this figure. With independent lines, I really don't know what to expect. I'm not one to buy a lot from those lines. But this one definitely kind of, I don't know, I was kind of drawn to it. I like the different ninjas they have and all the accessories. And I just thought this character in particular looked pretty cool and kind of different from what I'm used to seeing with a line like this. So yeah, like overall, I'm really happy with the figure. I like the articulation a lot. You could definitely do more posability with this figure than I'm used to, so I'm pretty happy with that. I really like the accessories here. The tonfas, the size, and the interchangeable hands are perfect. It's a really cool figure. It's a cool line. I think I might actually get another character, maybe Shinobi, from this line. I do wish maybe they were just a little bit bigger. I get a little confused with this 1/12 scale thing because the Storm Collectibles definitely aren't 6-inch, and the Marvel Legends I always thought were kind of big. So it does seem they're going to scale better with some of the Figuarts and Mafex figures. So I'll put a link in the description below in case you want to buy one of these from Articulated Icons, our Fwoosh website. So just look at that in the description below. Thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe, leave a comment or question if you have one. Like the video, share it, and until next time, guys, see ya.